Hello, bit of a different one this afternoon, but we're doing my 2,000 subscriber Q&A today. It was originally meant to be the 1,000 subscriber Q&A, but obviously we've grown a lot faster than we were hoping and thought we would. So I'm gonna pump this one out there quickly before we get to 5K. And bit of a different one because there's no action and adventure today. It's gonna be a bit deeper. I've collated 14 questions I'm gonna get through. We'll see how long it takes or how many I get through. 14 of the best ones that were asked on YouTube and Instagram, either in my DMs or responding to my post. And I like this, it's a bit more actually getting to know me rather than just like flat out action and adventure stuff. Just give my take on a few things, stuff that the people want to know. So let's jump into it. Question number 1, what made you revisit the Philippines above other new locations? I didn't really choose it. I feel like the Philippines chose me, kind of. So if you don't know, I did a little Southeast Asia trip post-uni. I went for 2 months to Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia and Thailand. And the Philippines was by far my favorite when I went. I was absolutely mind blown by the scenery. We only had 2 weeks here, me and my mate Matt. Didn't fit in, obviously, nearly as much as we found out was great to do. So we just went to Boracay, Tablas and El Nido and found out there was so much more to do. So obviously this channel is centered around action and adventure and pursuing new physical hobbies. And so I knew Coron was fantastic for diving, which is just north of El Nido in the Palawan district. So I knew I had to go back to Coron to do that, to dive in the Japanese World War II shipwrecks. Both of those videos are out already. Then Siargao is the surf capital of the Philippines, and that's on the east coast. And I wanted to learn, and I'm learning to surf. And that's actually where I am now in Siargao. Knew I needed to make my way over there. And also the Cebu Island, there's a lot to do on the Cebu Island, which is the content that's coming out at the moment. And the people are great, not too expensive, and it was a bit familiar to me, so I knew that this was where I wanted to start. But obviously I'll be branching out, like I said, traveling till the money runs out. So we're going to be making our way around the world. Not sure exactly in what order yet, but I move on. Well, I'll let you know further down the line where I move on to. Question number 2, what's next on the bucket list? So first was diving. Next on the bucket list was surfing. So I want to carry on the diving with as many different animals as possible. So I'm hoping in Indonesia we can get some manta ray diving in. But yeah, I'm surfing in Siargao now. I've surfed twice since being here. I've got 1 more day and then we're going to spend some time on Lombok doing that. So that is the next bucket list adventure. How do you cope with feeling homesick while traveling, Alex asks. Honestly, it's not really hit me yet. I haven't felt homesick. I've just felt like comfort sick. So when I was up in Malapascua Island, the hostel that I was in was an absolute dive. And yeah, like, you know, ants in the bed, like barely any irrigation or shops or anything around. And so I was like, this, I wish I was in England in a nice comfy bed in the nice cold weather, not sweating my tits off. But in terms of homesick, I'm happy with how I left things in the UK. Like, obviously if you're from the UK, you know it's not a great time to be there, especially we're October, November, and I'm sitting in paradise rather than freezing and wondering what to do. My social circle in the UK is small but spread out, so it's not like I was spending time with a close group of friends that I now miss. And family wise, keeping in touch with everyone, and I know I'll be stopping back soon. So yeah, not really struggled with homesickness yet, but I know that when I do feel it and when it's kind of crept in, I've just thought, listen, you're doing this for a reason. I ask myself why I'm here, and then you just get on with it. You know, you can't dwell on those things. So that's the stage we're at the moment. Good question. And question number 4 comes from Drake. Tips on how to be consistent and motivated when working out. Just starting, by the way. So you've got 2 aspects to this question. You've got consistent and motivated. Consistency is obviously how reliably you do something within a given cadence or frequency. So I consistently go to the gym 4 days a week, week after week, or I consistently eat the correct meals, you know, every single day. And then you've got motivation, is actually wanting to do something. So staying motivated and staying engaged with whatever your goal is. If we talk about consistency, then the number 1 thing here is setting your negotiables and your non-negotiables straight away. So when I was trying to build muscle and when I was obsessed with it for like a 2-year period, I'd have a set of non-negotiables and a set of negotiables that I would navigate my life through. So say a non-negotiable would be, I'm going to the gym 3 days a week as an absolute minimum, 5 days a week on a good week, for example. How do we set that? How do we set those 3 days a week as a non-negotiable to make sure it happens every single week? Maybe you're working a 9 to 5 and you've got after work drinks on a Friday. So sometimes you can go to work on a Friday, but go to the gym on a Friday. Sometimes you can't. You can schedule that in. But then if you've got the after work drinks on the Friday, then you have to go on the Saturday and you don't go on the Friday, you know, or you've got a family commitment on a Monday, so you make sure you do it on a Tuesday, and you just need to say, no, it's as simple as that. Like if something comes up on a Tuesday, it's like, no, I want this more than I want X more than I want Y. I want to get in shape, but more than I want to do whatever else it is, have some fun. So yeah, consistency is all about setting out non-negotiables. Like if you're on a diet, you stick to that diet. you sit there and you've got a cake in front of you, but you're trying to lose weight. That's not a question you have with yourself. It's like, no, this is the page I'm on. Like, I won't be able to look at myself if I deviate from the plan. So that's my best advice for staying consistent. And then motivated when working out. Motivation is a difficult one, right? Because you can have everyone knows you have periods of like, yeah, fuck this, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna seize the day, I'm gonna get what I want. And then, you know, you get tired, the next day comes, you're like, oh, I'm not so sure about this. And the key to success in all aspects of life, I've learned, is consistency when you're not motivated. You're not gonna be motivated all the time. How often am I motivated to go to the gym now? I train probably like 3 or 4 days a week. While I'm traveling, I'm actually loving it. But back in the UK, I would want to go maybe once a week. Like the other days, I'd be like, this, I've got to drag myself to the gym. In those moments, you've got to ask yourself why. So say I'm sat at home and I don't want to go to the gym today and I'm trying to build muscle, I would ask myself the question, am I happy with how I look? No. Am I big enough? No. Am I attractive enough? No. Do I want to get bigger? Yes. Is sitting on the couch for an hour and a half going to get me bigger? No. So I need to go to the gym. Would I rather be comfortable right now for an hour and a half, or would I rather be uncomfortable for an hour and a half and get myself in the gym and then get home again and it's all going to be over? If you break it down like that, you ask yourself the questions, look at yourself in the mirror, and if you ask yourself those questions and you know the truth and you then don't follow through, maybe you have a bad day, whatever, but that should be 1 in 10. Like, you should be able to look at yourself, ask yourself why are you doing this? Why did you set out on this journey? Why did you decide you want to lose weight? Why did you decide you want to get bigger? And that should be enough to prompt you. Whether you're motivated or not, you know the right thing to do, and that's the way I've kind of navigated it over the last 7 or 8 years. And Dom asked that as well. I've kind of waffled quite a lot there, but got out all the key points. So Dom asked how to stay motivated to work out. I have trouble with consistency and self-discipline. So I've kind of touched on all of those things. Like, it's not always going to feel easy. You're not always going to want to do it, but asking yourself why and setting out non-negotiables are my 2 biggest tips for that. Andrew asks, how is it to be a sore loser in games? Because I came second last at Jenga, but she came last, so I think you don't need to ask me that. Kate asks, if you had the wealth and power that Elon Musk has right now, what would you do with it? That is a big question and a tough question. I think it would be arrogant and naive of me to think that I could do any better than Elon Musk is with his money and his resources. Obviously, he's far more intelligent than I am and far more conscious of the world's issues. And I believe that he's a fairly ethical bloke and like looking after humanity as much as he can and delegating his resources as he sees fit. So I don't think I'll be able to give a better answer than Elon Musk, but I guess I would focus a bit more on the humanitarian side of things rather than strictly human progress. I think he's very driven by human progress, but I would like to see more stuff cleaned up on Earth in terms of like animal welfare and poverty. Maybe, you know, getting into farming, seeing what I could do in terms of increasing farming standards, especially in the West, and maybe some way of distributing wealth a bit more effectively. But capitalism is what it is, and I'm sure he's thought about these things and not come up with a solution. No one has. So sorry for the next question is Hot Cross Ben asks, how do you find decent gyms while traveling? Google, mate. Honestly, I use Google Maps. It's like Google Maps is to me what Jarvis is to Iron Man. Like, I'm unstoppable with it and useless without it. So if I need a good restaurant, I'll make sure it's got like over 25 reviews and it's over like 4.3 stars. And for gyms, I literally just type in gym in whatever area I'm in, search this area, and it will come up with gyms in the area. Click on them, have a gander at the photos. If a photo looks semi all right, bike over there, walk over there and check it out and get a session in. Easier than people think, and everyone always asks me this traveling as well. It's like, where did you find the gym? It's like, well, just Google it. And if you ever go somewhere that I've been, I try and name drop the gyms, but if you ever go somewhere that I've been and you want to know the names of the gym, then DM me or comment on YouTube and I will respond. Clues on your next destination, says Art Fry. I would love to tell you, but honestly, since the channel's blown up a bit, I've been getting some proper weird DMs, so that's why I'm not posting my location much on Instagram and YouTube. It's always a bit of a lag, because I'm a bit scared by some of you. And Ren's Casquejo asks a very similar thing. How long will you stay in the Philippines? Will you spend Christmas and New Year here? So no, I've spent 7 weeks in total in the Philippines by the time this airs, and I will be in Indonesia for the next month, and then I'll be somewhere else with some friends for Christmas and New Year, which I'm very excited about. We are really getting through this. It's going well. That's 11 down. So question 12, what motivates you in life other than fitness and travel? Kate asks. I wouldn't say that it's travel and fitness that motivate me in life. They are an extension of what motivates me. So what motivates me is becoming the best version of myself that I can, having the best net positive impact on the world and the people that I meet as I can. And so for me at this stage in my life, I'm obviously trying to have a positive impact after with the YouTube and when I meet people. But becoming the best version of myself involved a lot of hard work to even get to this stage, to get in front of a camera. So obviously building my body for 8 years, building my confidence, building my knowledge, like intelligence, studying everything, becoming slightly less autistic as well. All of these things come together. And so in terms of becoming the best version of myself, fitness and travel come into that. So I love fitness, like seeing what I can do physically, like obviously building the muscle that I have, and then doing the physical competencies that I can with my body, whether that's body weight training or marathon running or whatever. So there's going to be plenty more of that. And travel as well, it's like broadening my perspective. So I love experiencing new cultures, new ways of life, and me being in the middle of it makes me learn so much more about myself. Like when you're alone, when you're not enjoying it, you ask yourself the question and you like sit with your thoughts, and you can really learn a lot. I've learned a lot about myself already in 5 weeks of solo traveling, and I look forward to the moments where I'm not having the most fun and I'm going to learn even more about myself. So that's quite motivating for me. And in terms of the travel, the things that I love doing is seeing new things. It's all about nature for me. So like obviously meeting new people, seeing new things, and doing new things. Pretty vague, but you get the idea if you've watched any of my videos. All right, next one. OnlyFans when is the question. I'm not going to out you for who said it, but yeah, that's a very tame one. Like if you see some of the DMs I've got in the last 2 weeks, pretty outrageous. The answer is OnlyFans never. And I've made it pretty clear what the purpose of the channel is. Obviously I'm half naked quite a lot. It's from an appreciation of aesthetics point of view, and I recommend that if you are paying to see pictures of other people, then instead you should be bettering yourself and not doing that. But I'll leave you to do whatever you want to do, but not from me. Our next question is from Aaron. He asks, hotter or prettier? Prettier spelled P-R-E-T-T-Y-E-R. He'll never forget a joke or if you make a mistake. So this one is about 10 years old now, and I was messaging our other friend Rob on Facebook Messenger, little specky virgin, not him, me. And we were debating whether it's better for a girl to be hotter or prettier, and I couldn't spell prettier, and I tried about 4 times and said, that still doesn't look right. To answer your question though, Aaron, both please. I'll have a hot and pretty one if you have any available. All right, this has gone rather well. So final question from Danny is, how do you think traveling has changed your outlook on what's important in life? Another deep one to finish. Changed. I don't think it has, to be honest. Like I've always been quite well grounded, and as the years have gone by, as the last 10 years have gone by, I think I've got a good hold on what's important to me and what's not. Like relationships and health are my number one in terms of what's most important, and I think the more people I learn from and listen to, that's the same for them as well. So health is always number one, like looking after yourself, the health of your loved ones. And you can be, for me, I can be anywhere in the world as long as I'm surrounded by good people and have like deep connections with those people, then I'm gonna have fun. I don't need much more than that. Obviously I've come from quite a comfortable life in Europe to come over here, and like it's made no difference to me. If anything, I'm like obviously far happier with this basic lifestyle than being in Europe. So it's not like materials have ever made me happy. But yeah, you see a lot of poverty, you see a bit of suffering the more you travel, and it makes you just realize the like how money just equals freedom. And that's all there is to it. So yeah, perspective's always growing, always changing, always learning, but I don't think it's particularly changed me, but I'm sure it is changing me. So probably a good one to answer in another 6 months to a year. Yes, we're done. Give me one of them. Thank you for watching. 2,000 subscriber Q&A knocked back. I'll do another one at 5K, whenever that is, a month, 6 months, whatever happens. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a bit about me. Don't be rude in the comments. I'm very sensitive. And please subscribe if you've watched this or you've watched a few of the videos and you haven't subscribed yet. If you want to, and if you don't want to, then don't subscribe. All right, bye.
Oh, you want me to say that?
You have to.
Oh, I have to. Like and subscribe.
No, say it with conviction and look at
Please like and subscribe. Adam Radcliffe at YouTube,
.com.
Instagram, Facebook.